Yeah, and we don't have to like get into gossip or anything, but one of the things I don't understand, and maybe you can speak to it a little bit, is why there was so much controversy for you when you put this book out. Because when I was speaking to you about it on the mountain, it's like, this is not Father Peter's opinions throughout this book. You're quoting patristic writings and saints and whatnot. Why did you know you would get such pushback, and why do you think you did?
I knew we would get pushback. I just didn't know to what degree. What was amazing to me is that we were trying to get basically canceled. People were trying to cancel us, cancel me, cancel the book, and I think that's unfortunate because have you ever seen when people try to cancel you, usually they don't have any argument.
Yes, I've noticed.
Right?
Yes.
And in the world, like people who get canceled, it's just a power struggle. It's just a brazen reaction of the establishment, and we see that in American society. People are getting sick of that, and there's a big pushback against people who just get canceled because of their opinions. And you even have like Mark Zuckerberg saying, "Oh, we were forced by the United States government. Yeah. Now we're gonna change our whole censorship policies." I guess that's a good development. But anyway, the idea that you can just cancel the fathers, but we're just gonna cancel this book and we're gonna not allow it to be distributed or sold in our church, our diocese. I think it's naive on their part. Like and they would probably be good for them to listen to that wise Jewish Pharisee who said about in the Acts of the Apostles, who said, if it's of God, it'll, and if it's not, you can't do anything about it, right? You're not going to be able to fight it. So if this is the patristic tradition that's presented in our book and in the writings of Father George Metellinos, you're not going to be successful in the long term. And if it's not, we're not going to be successful, and it's going to fall away, and the church is going to reject it. So there's no worries. Like I really want to make I said before this morning, I said, one of the things I got to say is this: let's have a debate, let's have a discussion, or let's have a conversation. I've been asking various people in the more established Orthodox circles. By established, I mean American Orthodoxy. Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. And one or two have said yeah, and then they never did it. Why not? Why not? If you have absolutely this is how the church works. It's conciliar. It's not a top-down papal pyramid structure. So why not? Let's talk about it. I have yet to see a serious review of this book by anybody. Mm-hmm. They either ignore it or they just take pot shots at it in their reviews, and some of them are really, really pathetic, and they're just picking and choosing things that they think will score points online. So that's a tragedy for me. Like, let's have a serious discussion or even a debate if you want, for the good of the church. What are we afraid of? So that's one of the things I wanted to say, that I'm ready, and let's do that. And that's, I think, a perfectly Orthodox thing to do, right? Let's discuss this. The councils in the ancient church didn't go on for a week. Right. They went on for months, sometimes years. Mm-hmm. They had the Council of Crete. It was a week-long event. There was no discussion, really. I mean, in the sense that the documents had all been prepared for years in advance, and they were very hard to change in Crete at the time. Mm-hmm. And Crete is not known as a great Orthodox ecumenical council. There's tons of problems with it, to say the least. But the Orthodox Church would engage in this kind of debate. It was very rancorous, the ecumenical councils. It went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? Even Florence, the False Council, went on for a long time. It went on for a year and a half. So this is part of the Orthodox, way we deal with this. We don't think that shutting down people and canceling them is the Orthodox way.
Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts? Anything to get out there that we haven't discussed, or something you'd like to leave people with on this topic?
I would just encourage everybody to read the sources, read the fathers. And that's why we produced this book. I didn't produce it alone, by the way. I'm not the author. This is the Orthodox Ethos collective attempt at answering these questions. And I think it's very methodical. It step by step, age by age, council by council, father by father, explains them very thoroughly. And, you can come to different conclusions. You can read the book and get all the benefit of the patristic quotes in it and come to different conclusions. And then we can have a discussion. But I don't think you're going to find anything like this in the English language in terms of just the sheer collection of the witness of the fathers. And so it's a good place to start. And you can disagree with us, and I think that's a big part of it. And again, the other thing I wanted to say, I forgot, is that I'm just one priest. It's just one book. We're just one publishing house. There's a lot of people that are a part of this discussion, and we're not the council. I'm not a bishop. I have no delusions about that. So we're offering this to the church. We're offering this to the hierarchy. We're offering this to the people of God. We're not trying to co-opt anybody or push anybody or pressure anybody. We're saying this is what we think the patristic tradition is, and we think we should be faithful to it. And, the church has to ultimately decide. The council, the bishops have to ultimately decide if there's a correction that needs to be made in our practice. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Read the sources, read the books, read the pamphlets, read the fathers, and become thoroughly Orthodox in your outlook.
Yes. And I just keep thinking that one of the last lines in the creed, I confessed one baptism for the remission of sin.
It's not an accident. It came right after the confession of one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church.
Right.
I said that to somebody once many years ago. I said, these two things were put one after the other. You think that has some meaning? And they were an ecumenist, and they said, no, it has not. There's nothing, no connection there at all. I said, really? No, these things are inseparable. One flows to the next. And the fact that they confessed one baptism, many people say, oh, that means not to repeat the baptism. No, it's not just that. It's also that there's only one baptism, and it means the church's baptism. That's what they were saying there. At the same time that they were receiving others by economy, they were saying, don't think that our economy is a recognition of a mystery outside of the one church. That's the patristic witness. And anything else is just, I'm sorry, it's just, it's clearly under the influence of contemporary ecumenistic ideas.